An emotional gathering in Pasco County last night as the community came together to remember lives lost in the line of duty. This ceremony honors all fallen law enforcement and focuses on the 6 Pasco officers who have died on the job since the 1920s. But if not for a chance phone call, one of those deputies honored might have been lost to history. Bay News 9's Pasco County reporter Michelle Kay has the little-known story of Deputy Henry O'Berry, as told by one of his few surviving relatives.
This is the Townsend House Cemetery where Laura Beagles and other members of pioneer families here in Pasco County come every year for family reunions. It's how she learned about her Uncle Henry O'Berry. Laura Beagles is the surviving relative who confirms that Henry O'Berry was once a Pasco deputy who had never been officially honored in a law enforcement memorial here. That was until a sheriff's lieutenant randomly called her at City Hall asking for assistance with historical information and photos he needed to put a service together.
I said, last year you forgot my Uncle Henry O'Berry. He said, no, you are a relative. And I said, yeah, I guess right now I'm about the most direct descendant alive he still has.
Sheriff's Office historian Lieutenant Mike Schreck tells us how O'Berry died in the line of duty on January 1st, 1926. Just north of the Pasco line as he tried to capture a suspect named Charles Davis.
Charles Davis broke free and ran around behind the turpentine still, and Deputy O'Berry was chasing him. When he got around behind there, somehow or another, Charles Davis had armed himself with a gun and shot twice, according to newspaper articles, and was shot in the neck. Charles Davis, allegedly, according to newspaper articles, gets into Deputy O'Berry's car and drives around the neighborhood and then parks the car on top of Deputy O'Berry. And from that point on, he escapes into what is considered either a swamp or a forest.
Those old newspaper reports say other deputies caught Davis in Ocala, but while transporting him back to Pasco, a group of 20 masked gunmen took Davis from the men who had him in custody. Suspect Davis was never heard from again.
Unfortunately, during that time of Florida, people wanted to take the law into their own hands, and I can tell you that as much as my family was still hurting from Henry's death, they were appalled that other citizens took into their own hands to take the suspect and render whatever justice they thought may have needed to be rendered.
And decades later, Pasco residents didn't hear much about O'Berry, except in conversations with Beagles' family. That will change. We'll hear about him every year, providing a form of closure for relatives like Laura Beagles. For the first time, O'Berry was officially honored by name at Tuesday's Law Enforcement Memorial. In Pasco County, Michelle Kay, Bay News 9.
The Pasco Sheriff's Office is also hoping to get O'Berry's name added to the state and national monuments honoring fallen law enforcement officers. Last night's ceremony also remembered Constable Arthur Crenshaw, Prohibition Agent John Van Waters, Deputy Bert McCabe, Trooper Brad Crooks, and Captain Bo Harrison.